Hello, welcome. In this lecture, we'll be understanding the very important that is the Katha Upanishad, and especially within the Katha Upanishad, we are primarily going to be focusing upon the chapter 1. It's very imperative, or rather it's one of the most important things for you to understand that why essentially is Katha Upanishad one of the most famous Upanishads. There are more than 10 Upanishads, right? I mean, the important ones. But still, Katha Upanishad is one such Upanishad, which you'll find that, it has been mentioned very many times. A lot of inspiration has been taken from this very Upanishad by the various schools in Indian philosophy. The reason behind that is Katha Upanishad is basically regarded as an ancient Hindu text and one of the Mukhyas. What is the word? The word is Mukhyas. Mukhyas primarily is primary. Okay, it is regarded as one of the mukhyas, that is the primary Upanishads. It is embedded in the last eight short sections of the Katha school, and this is a school very important, can come in the exam. It is belonging to the Krishna Yajurveda. We have already discussed this bit, Yajurveda. There are four Vedas, okay? Rig, Sam, Atharva, and Yajur, okay? This is belonging to the Krishna Yajurveda, not just Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda, okay? Now, it is also called as Kathaka Upanishad and it is listed as number 3 in the Muktika, which is the basic canons of a total of 108 Upanishads. Now, you see there are a total of 108, out of which I'm saying Katha Upanishad is regarded to be one of the Mukhyas, that is the primary most important Upanishad, and that is why we are going to discuss this. Okay, now let's get into the details of it. Katha Upanishad is basically consisting of how many chapters? A total of 2 chapters. Chapters in Sanskrit is called adhyayas, right? Each of these two is basically divided further into 3 sections, or we can also call it valis. The first adhyaya, that is chapter 1, the one that we are primarily concerned with, is considered to be of the older origin than the second one, that is the adhyaya 2 or the chapter 2. The Upanishad chapter 1 that's dealing with is dealing with the famous story or the legendary story of who? Of Nachiketa, who is regarded to be the son of the sage. Let me write it here: son of Vajra, Vajrasa Sava. Okay, he is regarded to be the son of this important sage. Now, the story is, we can go into the details of the story. I'll quickly share a summary of it with you. The story goes that, Nachiketa basically meets who? Nachiketa meets the Yama. Now, who's the Yama? Yama is a very important deity. The deity of what? The deity of death. These are very important things. They can definitely be asked in the exam. Yama is regarded to be the deity of death. Now, their conversation evolves into the discussion of the nature of very many important concepts. That is, the conversation that happens between Yama and Nachiketa goes into a deep philosophical aspect, discussing the concept of or the nature of man, discussing the concept or the nature of knowledge, that is Gyan, then discussing the concept of Atman, which is what? Which is self. And lastly, discussing the concept of moksha, which is what? Which is liberation. Is this bit clear? Now, you have to understand that chapter 1 is simply important for these reasons itself. It's dealing with the nature of man, the nature of knowledge, the nature of Atman, the nature of moksha. Is this bit clear? Now, the chronology of the Katha Upanishad is unclear and it is obviously contested, but it is generally considered to be belonging to the later Upanishads, that is around the 5th centuries to the 1st century BCE. I hope this bit is clear. Now, coming back to again the essence of Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad is an important ancient Sanskrit corpus or literature belonging to which school? If you can ask this in the exam, it's belonging to the Vedanta sub school. An influential what? An influential Shruti to the let's say to the diverse school that we call Hinduism. Okay, remember these are very important things. You can be asked this in the exam. Why is it regarded so? Let me just explain it to you very quickly. For the simple reason because it asserts the essence of the text is that it asserts Atman exists. This is the simple thing that you have to understand. It asserts that Atman or the self exists. This is the entire crux of the story. Okay, it teaches the precept seek self knowledge. What? Seek self knowledge. Seek self knowledge. Why? Because this is regarded to be the highest bliss. Okay, and at the same time it definitely expounds on the premise, like the other primary Upanishads of Hinduism do, which is dealing with the concept of, let's say, the concept of actions, the concept of moksha, the concept of, you can say, all these things, knowledge, man, all of these things. But the things that you see in the color blue, this is the entire concept of the Katha Upanishad. This is the entire summary of the Katha Upanishad. Atman, that is self, exists, and what one needs to seek is self knowledge. Why? Because that's regarded to be the highest bliss. Is this bit clear? Now, the detailed teachings of the Katha Upanishad have been variously interpreted by very many scholars. It has also been done by the dualist school of Indian philosophy and also the non-dualist school of Indian philosophy. Now, within the Vedanta comes in what? Comes in Dvaita Vedanta and also comes Advaita Vedanta, which I just said in English. It has been done by the dualist school of Vedanta. It has been done by the non-dualistic school of Vedanta. Is this bit clear? Now, let's get, okay, before that, let me quickly discuss the etymology also with you, because you can also be asked this in the exam. The term Katha literally means what? It literally means distress. Okay, Katha is also regarded to be the name of an important sage who's credited to be, the pioneers, or the ones who basically expounded the branch of Krishna Yajurveda. Is this bit clear? So, in case you're asked this in the exam, don't have two doubts about it. This is the basic meaning, the etymological meaning of Katha. Etymological meaning, the direct translation of it in English would be distress, but of course, it's also, it's also, let's say, uh, in reverence to, done by the name of the sage whose name was also Katha. Katha is also the name of a sage who's credited as, the founder of, or as the pioneer leader of, the founder of the Krishna Yajur Veda. Is this bit clear? This is very, very, very important. Now, let's get into the structure, the story of it. What exactly are we dealing with here? There is a boy, the name of the boy is Nachiketa. Nachiketa is the simple boy here who's performing the role